Sahib jio Soohee Mehal Pehla Kar seva Ek oankar Satgur Prasad Ujjal ਕਹਿਹਾਂ ਚਿਲਕਣਾ ਘੋਟਿਮ ਕਾਲੜੀ ਮਸ ਤੋਤਿਆਂ ਝੂਠ ਨਾ ਉਤਰੈ ਜੇ ਸੋ ਧੋਵਾ ਤਿਸ ਸੱਜਣ ਸਈ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਂ ਚਲਦਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਚਲਨ ਜਿੱਥੈ ਲੇਖਾ ਮੰਗੀਐ ਤਿੱਥੈ ਖੜੇ ਦਿਸਨ ਰਹਾਉ ਕੋਠੇ ਮੰਡਪ ਮਾੜੀਆਂ ਪਾਸ ਹੋ ਚਿਤਵੀਆਂ ਢੱਠੀਆਂ ਕੰਮ ਨਾ ਆਵਨੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋ ਸਖਣੀਆਂ ਬੱਗਾ ਬੱਗੇ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਤੀਰਥ ਮੰਜ ਵਸਨ ਘੁੱਟ ਘੁੱਟ ਜੀਆਂ ਖਾਵਣੇ ਬੱਗੇ ਨਾ ਕਹੀਅਨ ਸਿਮਲ ਰੁਖ ਸਰੀਰ ਮੈਂ ਜਨ ਦੇਖ ਭੁਲਨ ਸੇ ਫਲ ਕੰਮ ਨਾ ਆਵਨੀ ਤੇ ਗੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਤਨ ਹਨ ਅੰਦਲੇ ਭਾਰ ਉਠਾਇਆ ਡੂਗਰ ਵਾਟ ਬਹੁਤ ਅੱਖੀ ਲੋੜੀ ਨਾ ਲਹਾ ਹਉ ਚੜ ਲੰਗਾ ਕਿਤ ਚਾਕਰੀਆਂ ਚੰਗਿਆਈਆਂ ਆਵਰ ਸਿਆਣਪ ਕਿਤ ਨਾਨਕ ਨਾਮ ਸੰਭਾਲ ਤੂੰ ਬੱਦਾ ਛੁੱਟ ਹੈ ਜਿਤ ਚਾਕਰੀਆਂ ਚੰਗਿਆਈਆਂ ਆਵਰ ਸਿਆਣਪ ਕਿਤ ਨਾਨਕ ਨਾਮ ਸੰਭਾਲ ਤੂੰ ਬੱਦਾ ਛੁੱਟ ਹੈ ਜਿਤ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ today's ਪਾਵਨ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਹੁਕਮਨਾਮਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ from Sachkhand Sri Harmandir Sahib is on Ang 729 blessed to us by Dhan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Sache Paatshah Ji apne pehle Paatshaahi, our first Guru Sahiban that laid the foundations of this beautiful path. Soohee Mahalla Pehla Kar Chema. Soohee, it's in Soohee Raag, that Raag that helps for us to get in touch with that love that is sitting inside of us. It may be sitting dormant, but it doesn't mean it's not there. And this Raag has the ability to awaken that within us. Soohee Mahalla Pehla Kar Chema. Ek oankar Satgur Prasad. Prasad meaning the kirpa, the grace. Satgur, the Guru of truth. Through the kirpa, the grace of the Guru of truth, can we have that union with that one, with Vaheguru Ji Akal Purkh Ji. Whilst being in Oang, whilst being within this creation, whilst being within this illusion, whilst living, are we gonna remain living stuck and actually thinking that what is an illusion to be the truth? Or are we gonna surrender to that Guru, to the Satguru, and then find that kar, that absolute stillness within ourselves, which is that one? So let's all listen to what Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatshah Ji saying to us today within this Shabad. Ujjal ਕਹਿਹਾਂ ਚਿਲਕਣਾ ਘੋਟਿਮ ਕਾਲੜੀ ਮਸ ਉੱਜਲ ਕਹਿਹਾਂ ਚਿਲਕਣਾ. ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, the word ਕਹਿਹਾਂ is something that is bronze. Kaha is bronze. Let's put it that way. Kaha, and obviously we see many different things made out of bronze. Agge ਘਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਿਵਾਜ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਕਹੇ ਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਕਈ ਕਹੇ ਦੇ ਭਾਂਡੇ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸਨ ਜਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਕਹੇ ਦੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਲਿਆ ਕੇ ਰੱਖ ਦੇਣੀ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਲੱਗਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ. And often you would have seen more so, not now, but like especially when I was growing up, we'd always have these little bronze ornaments to display. And Sangaji, so that way you can maybe make that link, and so you're able to relate to the example that Guru Sahib Ji is giving us today. They're saying that Ujjal Keha Chilakana, this is just like, you see that Chilakana means to, it starts to shine. Sangat Ji, that Ujjal, it starts to become so bright and it starts to shine as when you rub that. When you start to clean it, you can get a cloth and you start to rub it, that bronze ornament, and then you see it starts to shine. But she's saying, Ujjal, that look how clean it looks from the outside. Kaha, that bronze chilkana, it's shining. But then Pachaji is saying, take a look at the cloth. They're saying no matter how much it's shining, you get a clean cloth and you continue to rub, but then look at the cloth. What will you see? Kotim, Sangaji means to rub. Kaladi, mas, kaladi means black, mas means ink, but it'll still seem like there's this black ink that this cloth is covered with. And you're thinking, where is this kano coming from? Where is all this blackness coming from? That when I look at the ornament, it looks so clean and it's shining. Then you come to this conclusion that, is it that even though it's shining from the outside, but from within, this bronze ornament is actually always dirty? And Sangat Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pach Ji gives us this example. Just like that bronze ornament, you rub it, it looks so shiny from outside. But that cloth still shows you what's inside of that, what's behind that shininess is that blackness. This is just like that, using that as an example. Then they use a second example. Guru Nanak Dev Ji fe kahan lage, kende tote aa. Kende it doesn't matter how much you wash something. Kende tote aa jhoot na utara. Kende it doesn't matter how much you bathe this body. Kende tote aa jhoot na utara. But Sangat Ji, but the inside impurity, the impurities of the mind, those minds that are filled with hatred, those minds that are filled with jealousy, those are the impurities of the mind. And Sadhguru Ji Pacha Ji say, Kende tote aa, it doesn't matter how much we wash this body, tote aa jhoot na utara. Kende e jhoot uttardi nahi pai. But the mind that is filled with that jealousy and hatred, but that mind isn't leaving that filth. Totiya jhootna uttara. Paching, even if even if 100, 100, even if I wash this body 1,000, 100 times, Maharaj has used the example. 100 times if I wash this body, it doesn't mean that the inside jealousy and greed and all that is going to leave. Using these examples, then Sache Paatshah Ji, they say, but there is something that will wash us from inside. There is something that will always accompany us. There is something that will always support us. There is something that will always guide us. Sangat Ji, what is that? Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji here is actually reciting this Shabad and they're singing this Shabad with Bhai Mardana Ji. And they're sitting in somebody's house. And as they are sitting in somebody's house, he goes by the name of Sajjan. And Sajjan Sagadji means a friend, a true friend, a companion. Somebody that sticks by you no matter what happens. Somebody that is always by your side. Jo marji kuch hoi jave. Jo marji kuch ho jave, no matter what happens, but they're always there for you. They're always by your side. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji Path Ji is singing this shabad to somebody that goes by the name of Sajjan. But actually, he's not really a Sajjan. He's not really a true friend to people. He's not really a companion to other people. He deceives people. He looks religious from the outside. He wears beautiful long robes looking religious, all washed up from the outside, showing people bathing religious, carrying out religious bathes, looking nice and, fresh from the outside, wearing white clothes, looking very holy, looking very religious, just to make that relatable for us. Because we might be on some form of path of spirituality, whatever you want to call it, the path that leads us to God, or trying to walk on that path anyway. We may not wear white clothes and long robes or kurte or bani, whatever you want to refer to, some form of religious garbs, but we might be wearing a t-shirt, but we've still got some form of religious garbs. And what is that? We've got our kakar. Somebody might be wearing the 5Ks. Somebody might have adorned a kada upon their wrist. Somebody might have a gatra, a kirpan, Sangadji. They might be wearing this kirpan. Somebody might have the kanga within their case. Somebody might have the kachara on Sangadji. Or whatever that may be for somebody. Somebody may not have the panchakakar, but they've got their case. They've got their long hair. They've got their uncut hair. They've got a beautiful flowing beard. So somebody has got all of these from the outside. Or somebody is wearing some form of religious clothing or whatever that symbol may be for them. Somebody may be wearing a shivling, a mala. Somebody might be wearing beads around their wrist, around their neck, whatever that is. And Sache Paatshah here is saying, you might look like this from the outside, and just like that person that went by the name of Sajjan, but actually he called people into his home, and as he had made this travel in, you want to call it, this place that for travelers, for holy travelers to come, the saintly travelers that would be traveling, and they would have somewhere to come and rest, have some shelter for the night and have some food to eat, and he would come across that he's genuinely serving. For him, he was serving everybody. He would give them a place to stay. He would give them food. But his intentions were, because his faith had been broken. He had been shown by many that actually everyone's out to just deceive and get money. All religious people are like that. He obviously had been burnt. That's the karma that he had been carrying. And that's why instead of judging somebody for their actual actions, if you want to call it, instead look at them as look at them as the karma, the load that they are carrying. Don't just look at somebody for the way they are speaking, but instead Sangatji, if we are able to embrace that compassion and we're able to see that this is the karam that they are carrying, this is a bundle, a whole load of karmic load that they are carrying from their experiences of their life. This is now the outcome. This is where all of the experiences of their life has brought them to. Every moment, every walk, what they have seen, what they've experienced, what they have heard. A child has grown up watching their parents argue, watching complete kalesh within the home. They've grown up having to see. They've been exposed to all sorts of conversations and anger and shouting, negativity, bringing each other down. And now when we look at somebody, all we do is we look at somebody, oh, look how bitter. Look at how they speak. Oh, look at how they're looking at you. But we're not taking them as a complete, we're not looking at them as the karma, the load that they are carrying. Sajjan was somebody that was carrying a load. He was carrying that load of the experiences of his life, those expressions that had become imprinted upon his mind of what he had seen of other people that came across to the world to be somebody religious. And as he became closer to them, he came to know that actually no, they're out to rob us for our money. They're actually not very pure-hearted, and instead they're more interested in my wife's beauty than actually, taking us on as disciples and taking us to that place of where Waheguru Ji's existence is. So Sangat Ji, aapa bhi yatan kariye. Let us all live this life with more of an open heart, that we can start to take somebody for, we may not even know the journey that they've had, but always remembering that everybody has been on a journey, is on a journey, has got some form, everyone's got their own experiences of life that has brought them to the point where they are, to the point of the way they are speaking now, their habits, their ways. If we start to take them as this bundle, this karmic load, so much more compassion will well up inside of us. We won't see them for their language that they are using. We won't see them for the way they have become. Somebody may have formed a eating habit, but it could be because of the hurt that they are trying to cover up and avoid. They need help. Help? What type of help? They need compassion. Sajjan was somebody very much like that. He looked great from outside, but because of his life experiences, had broke his trust. So he thought that, you know what? Instead, I'm going to make this as my living. These people are destroying the world by conning them. So what I'll do is, I'll actually bring them into my home and I'll show them that they've got, if you're a Muslim, then I've built a mosque for you. I'll show them that if you go by the label of being a Hindu, then I've built a mandir for you. I've built a temple for you. I've got bells here for you. I've got statues here for you. I've got idols here for you to worship, to make everybody feel welcome, to show you that I'm your friend. But actually, the karma that he was carrying had led him to such a state where he thought he was doing the world a favor by actually poisoning these religious people and taking them for all that they have got and robbing their money and then utilizing that money for his own lifestyle. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji was here to take his pain away. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji left their home for one reason. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji left their children behind that were very young at that time for one reason, and that reason was because as per Bhai Gurdas Ji, who was a scholar, the nephew of Guru Amar Das Ji, the third Guru, and he described and he said that karti suni lakai. They said without having a Guru to guide people, of bringing awareness to them. They're saying that Bajo Guru Gubar hai. Without that Guru, without that true Guru by your side, They said it's complete utter darkness. Bajo Guru Gubar ha kardi suni lakai. They said that we can hear the world is crying out in their suffering, in their pain. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paach Ji was on their travels due to this very reason. They stood by. They came to the rescue of the likes of Sajjan. Today, many of us are suffering through some form of way. Whether we acknowledge that suffering or not, but sometimes because of our very ways, we are bringing so much pain upon others. We're bringing so much suffering and grief. We're giving so much grief, putting so much grief on other people. Guru Nanak Dev Ji patches it out for them. Today, if we embrace Gurbani, the Guru's word is full of compassion. The Guru's word knows that we are suffering in some form of way, whether that be with anger, whether that be with irritation, whether that be with anxiety, whether that be with hatred, jealousy. These are all forms of suffering. Gurbani is that will free us from these sufferings. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paach Ji is singing this Shabad to Sajjan to awaken him. But the truth is, it's to awaken us. Now, that's why it's been incorporated into Guru Granth Sahib Ji Paach Ji's Bani. So it can awaken us today. And not for our mind to just completely go and get lost into the Sakhi, into the story, into that true story. But for us to be able to bring it today for us. Are we shining from the outside looking the peace, but from inside burning with jealousy and then spreading that upon others too? And making other people suffer because of where we are. But people are deceived and they come to us because they see the way we look, and then because we're not authentic with the world. We're not authentic with the world to say that yes, this is going on inside of me. I'm not here to con anyone. Letting people run to us, but are actually burning in jealousy inside and then just pouring that all over them too. This isn't about being negative. This is about awakening to the Guru's word so that we can start to live more authentically. So we can start working on our inside instead of giving so much attention and focus to the outside. Because it's inside. The outside is supposed to be a reflection of the inside. We talk about bani, bana. Now, Sangatji, bana translates to our outer appearance, the robes that we wear. But bana is deeper than that. Bana isn't so that I can tell the world that, look, I'm a Sikh. A bana is saying that inside of me there is bani. A bana is telling the world that this what I wear, that inside of this sits the Guru's words. Inside of this there is a battle. Khalsa soy jo kare nit jang. A Khalsa. I'm a Khalsa that is in constant battle with the inner vices of Kaam, of lust, of Krodh, of anger. I'm in this battle. This Bana is telling you that I'm making a conscious effort to battle with these vices inside by using my Guru's Bani. Bani, Bana. संगत जी ਧੋਤਿਆਂ ਝੂਠ ਨਾ ਉਤਰੈ ਜੇ ਸੋ ਧੋਵਾ ਤਿਸ Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatji saying ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੱਜਣ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ a true sajjan, a true companion is that. A true companion is beyond this blood and flesh. A true companion is beyond another body. A true companion is that can go with us when we leave even this world, when this body does not even remain. A true companion is that Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatshah Ji say sajjan. Say are those that, say means those, naal man, that are always with me. No matter what situation of life that comes, no matter what challenge comes, no matter how rocky things get, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਹੀ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਂ, that are always with me. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਆਂ, and even when I have to leave this world, ਨਾਲ ਚੱਲਣ, that will go with me. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਲੇਖਾ ਮੰਗੀਐ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ where my accounts are asked for, meaning that when I leave this body and I go through that transition period of then going to my next destination, for however long, whether that be next destination be another body, whether that be another realm that is beyond this world. Sangat ji Parpach ji saying jitha lekha mangiya, during that transition, that time period, those that can even support me and be with me during that time, jithe lekha mangiya titha khade disan. Paach saying that they, companions, are truly those that can be seen in those times as well. No matter how difficult things get for us. So Sangat ji, who are those companions? Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paach Ji, in the very last pangti, they will talk to us about Naam. They'll talk to us about Naam, Sangat ji. But here, through Naam, when we connect to Waheguru Ji, we connect to Waheguru Ji's Guna as well, to Waheguru Ji's virtues. Sangat ji, our true companions are those that are Shubh Guna. Shubh Guna means pure, Guna means virtues. Having those pure virtues inside of us, like what? Such as love and compassion. Love, Sangat ji, being in that place of being unconditional. Love being in that place of going beyond discrimination. Love being that, being in that complete nature of giving and not expecting anything back. True service is that. Seva is born out of love. Only those that have true love within their heart are able to serve what Maharaji call as seva. Seva pyareo asal vich. Seva pyareo asal vich jede andar prem hove. Seva prem de vichੋਂ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ. ਇੱਕ ਪਾਸੇ ਦਇਆ is that energy that gives me that power to go and take somebody's suffering away. But seva is that is done in love. Because in love, I don't want anything back for this. I don't want a pat on the back. I don't want recognition. Just like that king, just like that Raja, he would cover his eyes. He would tie a bandage of some form around his eyes so that he could not see. See what? When all those that were homeless and didn't have any food to eat, all those would be invited to his palace. But he would tie a patti around his eyes. He would tie this little bandage around his eyes so he could not see, and he wanted to serve with his own very hands. He would go and he would serve with his own hands and give them food. One of the days, his alkar, his servants, asked him, he said, "Oh master, why do you cover your eyes when you serve these?" He said that, "I don't want to be able to recognize them. If I go out of this palace and I see them, I don't want to recognize them." They said, "But why wouldn't you want to recognize them? Wouldn't it be such a great feeling that you are getting to see those that you served and you gave food to, and because of you they got to have to fill their stomachs?" And he says, "That's exactly what I'm trying to avoid." He goes, "I don't want to ever feel that I gave them. I don't want to see their faces, because I don't want to ever say that I gave them, that's the person I gave food to." He said, "I don't want to attach myself to giving anyone anything. The giver is that one that has given me. It is his hand that is behind giving, because if it wasn't for that one, then I wouldn't have anything to give. Dada Data ek hai, sabko devanhar, dende tot na aave aganat, bhare pandar." Sangat ji, that is love. To the point of not even acknowledging that I have given. Not even seeing yourself as the giver. Ek date ek pekhari ji sab tere choj vidana. ਅਸਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਹੈ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਹੈ. Where there is love, there is service, selfless service. Where there is no love, there is no selfless service. Looking at somebody and seeing them to be a beggar, seeing them to be below me, to be the one that is begging, and I'm the giver, then I've lost the game. Because the only giver is that one. The moment I think I gave, there was no love. And then there was no service, there was no selflessness. Jithe lekha mangiye tithe khade disan. Our true companions are those that are always by our side. And the truth is, when we instill love, when we get in touch with love and compassion within us. But it's a funny old game, because if we haven't yet got compassion, then we go and do selfless service. And that will help us to find that compassion within us, and then we'll truly serve from compassion. Jithe lekha mangiye tithe khade disan. Love is something that will always support us and guide us in no matter what situation of life that occurs. No matter what happens. It will never let us down. Even when we leave this world, the energy of that love will help carry us to a much beautiful place. Rahao. Those are who we want by our side. We want love and compassion to always, that's who we need to make into our companions. Because no matter how difficult life gets, they will get us through. They will really get us through. Kothe mandap maadiyan pasahon chitviyan. Now Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatji give multiple examples. So here they're giving an example of kothe. Kothe Sangat Ji meaning houses, mandap meaning mansions, maadiyan meaning tall buildings. Kande pasahon chitviyan, from all four sides of this building. They're painted beautifully white, looking nice and bright from outside, and somebody looks at this building from outside and says, wow, what a beautiful place, that must provide so much from inside. They're saying, but kamna avni vichon sakhaniya. But just like a building that has crumbled and become just nothing and a pile of dust, and as that is of no use to anybody, Guru Sahib Ji saying in that same way, that's a building that is empty from inside, that provides nobody of any food or any warmth or any comfort. Then what is the use of that beautiful house looking so beautiful from the outside? It might as well be crumbled. Sangat Ji, in that same way, sometimes we look as if we're filled from inside, but if somebody comes to this being deceived by the way I look, but they find no warmth, then what's the point of looking like this? That's the truth of what Maharaj is saying here. We cannot hide from that. People say that my dastar, my lambe kes is that nishani, is a call to the world to say, look, I'm a khalsa that will help you. But if this is filled with jealousy from inside, then if somebody is deceived by looking at our dastar and comes running over, Sangat Ji, the truth is that we even see this within what we refer to, what we call our panth. People, different groups that are formed within the panth, that are representatives of the panth, they're filled with jealousy as well. They don't want another organization being ahead of them, doing better than them. They want to be at the top. So if somebody comes to them, they speak from a place of jealousy, in making sure that they keep them in their little prison, and that they restrict them from ever even wanting to go to another beautiful flower of the panth. This is the truth of what happens, and this is exactly what Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatji is talking about. They're saying, then what's the point of looking like that when that's all that's going to come out of your mouth is words of jealousy behind it. Bagga bagge kapade. Sangat Ji, this happens also in workplaces too. People striving to get a pay rise, to get a position within work, but they'll do anything and stample and backstab anyone they need to backstab within their workplace, be it their own colleagues who they pretend to be friends of, but inside there's this race that I need to get ahead of you, I need to get my pay rise, and I'll do anything. I'll talk behind your back if I need to, I'll slander you if I need to, just to make sure that I get what I need, what I want. Bagga bakke kapade. Paatji is saying that a bagga, a crane bird, kande bagge, wearing white clothes, meaning that the crane bird is white. So saying what we might be like that crane bird, wearing white clothes, kande kapade tirath manj vasanne, and then going and standing and being amongst the tirats, being there within the grounds of pilgrimage grounds. And then Paatshah Ji, then they say, kende kut kut jiyan khavane bagge na kahiyan. Kende kut kut jiyan, but they are there to do what? Is there to kut kut ke. Kende actually they are there to tear other little creatures apart, those crane birds are, to get their own food. Meaning sometimes we look like this, but we look like this just to rip other people off. We're there to tear other people's lives apart. We are there just to get their money. We are there just for whatever reasons, or somebody even is wanting to have some form of relationship with somebody else's wife. You can't call them somebody that is spiritual. Their intentions are completely corrupt. Just like that, and they're saying that I am now, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pachaji bringing it upon themselves for us to, so we can have that experience with it more so. I'm just like that tree that is called a simmal, that tree that is very tall, has got beautiful big leaves upon it. It's got these fruits. But simmal ruk sareer mein imagine dekh pulan. That imagine a parrot looks at me because I look so beautiful. And then imagine dekh pulan, because of what I'm wearing, I look so beautiful. Then a parrot comes to this simmal tree, to this tree. But what does this tree get? Se phal kam na avani. But when they take the fruits from this tree, those fruits are completely bitter. Se phal kam na avani te gun main tan han. In that same way, my qualities, these negative qualities inside of me. Sangat ji, a parrot goes to a simmal tree. It tastes, it tries the fruits on that, and it feels sick because how bitter those fruits are, how tasteless those fruits are. And just like Pachaji explained to us, simmal rukh daraira at dirag at much oye je ave aas kar kam na ave pat phal fikke ful bak bakke kam na ave pat. Sangat ji, maaf karna. What Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pachaji, let's just look at the pangtiyan here. They say that kam na aveh pat. So when they say this to us, maaf karna, made a few mistakes in the pangti, so I'll repeat them again now. I've got them up. Simmal ruk saraira at dirg at much. Such a tall tree. And then they say oye, but when the parrot comes over, oye je aveh askar. It's got all these hopes within its mind. It goes completely breaking. All of its hopes have been broken, and then it goes disappointed. Then they say it tried the fruit, but it was completely tasteless. It thought that maybe this leaf would give me some sort of nourishment. But as it tried that leaf, full, and then what happened there? Full maaf karna, the fal are the fruits, and then the full, Sangat ji, the petals of the flowers. Then they tried the flowers from this tree, the petals of this flower. They were completely nauseating, so disgusting. Then kamna avhe pat, and the leaves are of no use of that tree. What is Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pachaji here trying to tell us? They are saying to us, sometimes somebody comes to us because we look the piece. But when they can't expect to have any fruits from us, they may expect for us to be sweet towards them. But instead, when they try us out, what is it that they find from us? They find that this fruit, what they expected us to be so sweet, they find that phal fikke, we're completely fikke, we're tasteless, and we're filled with this bitterness from inside and so much hatred. So then they think, oh wow, okay, wasn't quite expecting that. And then what happens? Phal fikke, full bak bakke. Sangat ji, then the flower. Then Sangat ji, they thought that, you know what? There'll be this beautiful fragrance from within us that they'll be able to, when we look at a flower, we take in the fragrance, we look at it and it looks so beautiful and it makes us feel so soothed from inside. And then they thought that, we was going to help their suffering and we're going to soothe them from inside. We're going to give them this beautiful fragrance of sweetness. But instead, full buck. But instead, when they saw the intentions from inside of us, they saw that, we're filled with jealousy and we just want to hoard people. We want people to come into our little group and we're more interested in their money and whatever else or whatever, that we just want to use them for whatever. Then when they come to realize this, they feel sick. Full buck. Kamana abhe pat sangatji. They thought we was going to be like this beautiful shadowing leaf. But then they realized that we give them no comfort at all. And then what happens? That they go completely disappointed away from us. Jahid narase kit. Sometimes we've experienced these things in our own life. We've experienced this from other people. We thought that they were religious. We went into their company, but it was completely something else. Instead, when we found out their intentions, it made us feel sick. We expected comfort from them. Instead, they were just trying to use us for every little thing that they could. But Sangatji, it's about this deep contemplation and reflection of not judging them, but understanding that they're on a journey and they've come to that point of wherever they have come to. And if possible, is with compassion, bringing some form of awareness to them. And if they still do not listen and they still are not interested, but not then bringing any, not being forceful or being judgmental, then, or if it's us that has become like that, then it's truly reflecting and breaking out of those cycles with the wisdom of the Guru's Bani that is bringing awareness to us that we may not have realized even what we are doing and what is happening to us. Baljit is saying it's about having this sajjan, this true friend with you of what? Mittat nevi nanka. Of having the sweetness of humility. Of having that humbleness inside of you. That is what will get us through this life. Not being full of being deceiving and full of deceitfulness and bringing other people down. Se phal kamna avani te gun main tan han. Just like that tree I've become. Andale pari uthaya, becoming completely andale, becoming blind and ignorant and holding so much weight upon my head. Dugar vaat bahut, but this vaat, this path that I am on is so, it's mountainous and it's dugar, it's such a rocky path. And how can I get through such a rocky path of being blind, being so ignorant? Akhi lori, I'm trying to look, but how can I look when I'm blind? I'm trying to find my way, but how can I if I'm blind? Akhi lori, na laha, but I can't see. Obviously not, I'm blind. How am I going to get across such a rocky path? We need to dispel this ignorance by embracing the Guru's wisdom. The Guru's wisdom is to embrace Mittat Nebi Nanka, is to embrace the sweetest thing that you could ever imagine, and that is humility. Humility is never looking down at somebody, is never thinking that I am better and above, never thinking that I am more important than anyone else. Akhi lodi na laha hon chad langa kit, chakriyan changiyaiyan. Yes, I might be coming across to the world that I'm serving. I'm giving food to somebody. Changiyaiyan, all this coming across being so good. Kende pa avar siyanap kit. Kende pa all of these clevernesses. How are they going to be of any use and help to you? Guru Sahib ji saying, Kende avar siyanap kit, kende kite. Kende what good are these clevernesses to you? When inside you are so empty, when from inside you are filled with so much jealousy and hatred. Kende Nanak naam sambhal tu, badda chut hai jit. Kende but Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paat Ji saying, Kende embrace the name of God inside, deep inside of your heart. And when we connect to Waheguru, we connect to love, connect to compassion, we connect to humility. Because Waheguru Ji does not look down on anyone. Connecting to Waheguru Ji's naam means that these guna come inside of me. These qualities come inside of me. Badda chotte hai jitte. And then being trapped in all of this, I escape. So Sangat Ji, the takeaway from this Hukamnama Sahib, being aware that not getting so caught up in the way we look from the outside and not actually working on our inner self, getting caught up in deceiving others by our looks and then using that to our advantage. So Sangat Ji, let us do ardas, let us beg before our Guru that we do not remain empty from inside. Our inside is filled with love and compassion, humility, which is the sweetest virtue that we could have within ourselves. These virtues will always be by our side and never let us down in this world and the next world. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa.